Cool, we're ready to go.
Let's do it today.
All right, buddy, we are back. It's episode 16, and we are on another one.
Episode 16.
Inside of the red truck.
Inside the red truck, outside the red truck, on the red truck.
Yeah.
We've done it all.
Welcome back, everybody. Another show. So cool. So today, I thought we could kind of just talk about an overview of what Redlands and Henry Bush Plumbing, Heating, and Air does. What different kinds of things that we offer and services, and kind of run down like what we're about in our company and how it works. So first thing I want to talk about is a relatively new service with us. It's that duct cleaning that we do, right? So let's talk about what we did to prepare for that, why we do it, you know, what good does it do for our customers, and why we should use that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a huge topic for us because, you know, for years we've had customers that have utilized this to install an HVAC system. You know, sometimes they buy new ducts, sometimes they don't. But, you know, they see the quality of work that we do. They definitely want us to partner with them, you know, as that home provider. And then one of the questions that would get asked by many of the customers later would be, do you guys do duct cleaning?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's kind of a bad, you know, thing to have to tell them no. Unfortunately, that's not something that we would do. So. Yeah. We would outsource that. We would send it to we wouldn't send it to anybody. We'd tell them that unfortunately we don't do it, so they'd have to look for a provider. And, you know, the callback was, man, they just didn't do a great job, or they didn't feel satisfied with the experience. So, you know, we talked about it, and then we had the opportunity to, you know, get some equipment, and we just said, you know, listen, this is something that's being asked for. Let's do it. Then it kind of got catapulted when the fires came. Mm-hmm. And with COVID, because those two events were where people actually really started diving in to airflow, to, you know, cleanliness of the ducts, cleanliness of their system.
Yeah.
You know, so many people think, when they think of the term HVAC, which stands for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, you know, it's funny because 90% of people never think about the V, which is the ventilation part.
Yeah,
but COVID kind of brought that around, right? Because people were like, man, this stuff spreads, it's going, right? So it really, you know, they were hearing stories on the radio, on TV. So it definitely brought some awareness to that.
You know what I see a lot, dude, is why, maybe you can explain this. We're a company, obviously, that is upfront. We don't do the gimmicky style type of advertising or marketing with any of our products, right? So when we come to our customers, you're not going to see some $99 vent special, right? Cleaning. Why do these guys, knowing what we know about it, and the fact there's no possible way you can do that, so there's got to be some kind of scam to it. Why are these guys doing that versus what we do, which is just be upfront with it and try to catch you in the end?
Seems like a tale as old as time, as they would say. You know, it's bait and switch. I mean, sadly, that's what it is, right? I want to get in your door, so I'm going to offer you some crazy, ridiculous promotional rate, and once I'm in there, my goal is to do everything but that rate, right? And that we see it in HVAC, not just with big ticket items. I mean, it's all across the board. You see crazy ads out there for drain cleaning, $69 for the first 30 feet. It's like,
yeah, there's always a catch to it, right? Anybody who's listening to this thing, if you see that price or that too good to be true, it always is, right? I mean,
and you got to just look at the detail, right? Look at the fine print, right? For the first 30 feet of their cable. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, you already lost 3 feet by the time you hit the pipe. So really, now we got 27 feet of pipe that we're going to, I mean, unfortunately, it's an unawareness on our customers, and that's not their fault. It's not their job to know. But it's definitely using that unawareness and really trying to just bait them into a call. And then once they have that call, from there, they're going to do with what they can. And we just don't believe in that. That's why our drain cleaning has been 206 for a very long time. It will remain that. You know, we want to do it right. We want to do it properly, and so that we know there's a proper cost for it. Same with duct cleaning. To do it right, there's a lot that really needs to go into it.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at an all-day project. I mean, for at least a good portion of your day.
It's at least a half-day project, depending on the house. Could be a full-day project.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, there's an inspection that needs to be taking place in the attic. I mean, we got to inspect the ductwork first.
Sure.
If you got loose or disconnected ductwork or issues, man, you could cause a nightmare by trying to do duct cleaning. You know, there's a video inspection that we do. A lot of those companies just aren't doing that.
Sure.
Then from there, just duct cleaning, it's not as simple as one pass through the duct. Yeah. It could be, but for most ducts, it's not just one pass through that duct. It's multiple passes, making sure that we leave them with an end product that is amazing. And then the last piece of it is the fact that we're fogging the ducts. And what I mean by that is, so we're cleaning the ducts, we're sterilizing the ducts that way. If there are any micro growths that have happened up in the ductwork, we're taking care of that. It's done. It's gone.
One of the guys, I don't know if you saw him, but I think it was Danny who sent it to me, but sent me photos of some before and after that they just did. And I was shocked at how, this thing's coated. Anybody who's listening is going to see that I have an ad coming out in the next couple of days that's going to go on social, and it's got the before and after, and it's wild to see how, thinking about that air you're breathing is going through that thing.
My own home, when we were doing the training for this, we used my house, we used your house,
I remember,
as some of the training grounds to get our guys trained on the equipment. And I was just amazed at how bad my house was.
It's surprising that it can get like that, right?
Well, and that stuff can live up there forever. If you've just moved into your house in the last couple of years, you're the old occupier of that home. If you haven't cleaned those ducts, they're still living there with you.
You're breathing part of them.
Their old skin cells, their old hair. Oh, it's
that's not good.
What we see sometimes is just absolutely ridiculous.
Well, if anybody who doesn't work here, they might know now, but we like to have a little fun once in a while. And so I want to talk about our Big Daddy Cool Cash program that we just did.
Welcome.
I want to talk about what the benefits of it are, but also want to talk about some of the things that we did for this thing, dude, which were hilarious. Anybody who hasn't seen it, if you're local there, you had to, right?
I want to apologize up front. I apologize. I know I'm not the best looking man in a pimp suit.
How'd you feel getting dressed up in that thing?
It was fun.
You're a good sport, dude.
I've always been the guy that I like to have fun. I think life is very, very stressful for all of us. And just to kind of have fun with it. At the end of the day, it's a great program. It's a program through Carrier. It's a program that can help our customers get into a higher grade system more cost effectively.
It is specific to a certain system.
For sure. And it's Carrier and the government's way of saying, hey, we want to assist you. Get to a higher efficiency level. Obviously, everybody's trying to go green and be more energy efficient. One thing in California, anybody listening knows this, energy bills can just absolutely rob you during the summer. And so, but it's expensive to get a great system. There's no easy way to say that, right? We're not going to try to hide from that.
No,
it's expensive.
If you see anybody who's seen this thing, whether you've seen it or not, we're doing. You've seen the billboard with Marshall in the green suit. The program is up to $1,700, and that is on a specific system, or so it's something. If you are interested in this, they call in. Speak with Murray or any of our people here, and we can direct you to kind of what that looks like.
Right.
If that system isn't what you're looking for, we also have other options, which are like a $500 discount for everyone off our website that you can get on any system that you want to.
Listen, I've said this since the day I got into this industry. Everybody really pays the same price. And here's what I mean by that. If they don't buy an efficient system and they buy a lower efficient system, they paid less today, but they're going to pay more month over month for their energy consumption, right? So who are you really wanting to put money into the pocket of? Do you want to put more money into the pocket of Southern California Edison? Heck no, they take enough of my money. I want to keep my house cool, comfortable, and with the most efficient and really technologically advanced type of system. Well, and this is a good path that helps you kind of get there, right? And that's
essentially somebody's, whether the government gets it through the utility bills or you get it to put in your home. That's it washes out almost in the end. Right?
Why their investment? I'd rather put it in my
absolutely investment. To get it better. That'll last you longer. Probably it's a better, cleaner system. It runs a little smoother. So. But I encourage everybody has to go check out if you go to our TikTok, go to our YouTube, any of our social media stuff, you got to see the Big Daddy Cool Cash stuff, especially the latest ones too.
It's funny. My wife and I were laughing. We're both on a social media fast right now.
Are you?
Yeah, a program we're doing at church. Good. So we're doing a social media fast, and I told my wife, I said, I don't miss seeing those videos because every time they would come up, I'd just cringe, but it's fun. I like it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've been at the gym or at church and somebody be like, "Hey man, I think I saw you," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Dude, I had so much fun filming those things, man. That was hilarious.
Somebody the other day said that what we were hoping is somebody said, "Man, I kind of thought of Debo when you were riding up on that bicycle."
Did somebody tell you that?
Yeah, somebody said that. And I was like, dude, that's what we were going
That's
for.
the theme we were going for sure.
Perfect.
That's funny, dude. Very cool. All right, let's kind of transition here into. I want to talk about smart home products. I want to talk about things like our automatic water shut-off valves and what are a couple. Let's say we pick the top three that it would be a good investment to help save you some money on energy, also keep your home safe. I mean, what do you think? So obviously we have the automatic water shut-off valve.
So that one is a one that's going to, well, let's do two things with that one. That one's a safety device. A lot of homeowners insurance, like right now, if they're renewing, they're not even getting a choice. You are going to install some type of automatic water shutoff. I know Farmers has done a lot of that. I think it's Allstate or State
That's
Farm.
coming, right?
They're not asking, they're telling, right? If you want to, so there's that piece of it. But from a standpoint of just home protection, I mean, it always seems like these disasters happen when you're not at home, right? And so you're not there to hear the leak or to hear the water needing to be shut off. And this is that safety mechanism that would do that for you. I love it. I mean, my mother's in a home now, but when, thinking of her as she was aging and her and my dad getting more forgetful, they could leave they've done it, they did it twice before unfortunately, my mom would leave the tub running. And
wow, no kidding.
She flooded the house twice, or parts of the house. Well, this would have solved that, right? Because it probably would have kicked in and shut it down.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it really wasn't out at that time, and so it's just something to look at. But it's definitely could save massive damage. One of the ones that I think of, and it definitely can save you on your insurance, which is a month-over-month cost, which is the earthquake shutoff valve for your gas line. That's something that's such an untapped resource for people. You look at areas when they're devastated by an earthquake. It's not the earthquake a lot of times. It's the fires that happen post-earthquake.
True.
And that's where this can really set you up. So what it is, it's a device that goes on your incoming gas line right at the meter outside of your home, usually on the left or right side of your home. You'll have a meter, and then past that meter is where the gas will enter into your home. After that meter is where there would be an earthquake shutoff valve. So when that earthquake happens, this ball drops into that line, so no more gas is able to pass by that line. So then what happens is you've now protected yourself against fire.
Does it activate based on a certain level of earthquake? Or
it's not going to just go off every single time. It's only, and I don't have the data right in front of me, and I apologize, I wish I did, but it definitely will help them out. And here's the great thing about it: most insurance companies will give you a deduction if you have something like that, because they know you're protecting your home, and if you're going to invest, they're going to invest back.
It's funny, one of the things might not seem like a big deal. A lot of people, when we got our new system, we got that Ecobee in there for the smart home thermostat. That thing it saves us a ton of money because it's on my phone, so it's constantly, I can monitor, and it tells me when something's going on, whether it's, I get alerts all the time of like air quality is low, and it lets you know. But it just being able to be on top of that thing has been not only a cool feature, but it's like it's helped me stay on top of keeping the temp at where I should.
And another thing about that, that's another way that you see homeowners. I used to work a lot out in the desert, and homeowners were always worried about the temperature in their house during the day, especially when the summer, when it was 127 degrees out there in Indio. And one of the things that really was cool about that is when you have a smart stat that connects to your phone, you can monitor that all day, and you don't have to leave your home running at 78 all day. You can actually bump it up to 83, 84. Allow yourself to relax, your system to relax during the day. Don't have those energy consumption when nobody's home. But then you're leaving to go home at 5.
Yep.
So at 4 p.m. you go on.
That's the nice part.
You crank down that air. Now you get to walk into a beautifully air-conditioned home that meets your desired temperature, but you didn't waste money all day to keep it there.
Yeah, well, people who don't have one of those, if you try these things, it's like knowing, because why does your house need to be cool while you're gone? It really doesn't. I mean, obviously you don't want it to get overly hot, but let that thing cook, and then when you're, like you said, an hour away from getting home, turn it on and think about the money that you spend with that. Because we do, I have it on set times and all these things, and it's been a lifesaver for our utility bill.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, the other one that I would say is, something that a lot of people just don't check, and this one I'm not going to tell you is a savings from like a green perspective, but the pressure regulator that comes into the home. So many customers do not have that checked on a yearly basis. The problem with that is that's the safety device for all the fixtures in your home.
Super.
Right? And so, somebody who's just finds themselves in this place where they're having repair after repair, problem after problem, that's a good place to be a starting point to say, hey, what is my pressure coming into my home? I just got off the phone with a lady this morning. Her pressure coming in, her and her husband had bought a device to check it, and their pressure coming in was 118. And I'm like, 50 to 75 is the safe zone. So, I mean, they're literally double what they need, over double what they need coming into their home. So, obviously she's had a couple of leaks. She was worried about it. That's why they went out and bought a device. They saw something online. So I was intrigued that they actually tried to take some steps themselves. I thought that was really cool. But, now she's like, man, I wish somebody would have told me this a long time ago. I probably could have saved a whole bunch of fixtures. She's like, I've already had to replace a lot of angle stops. I've replaced a couple of faucets, and that's something that could have been solved all the way back at that root cause, which was the pressure regulator.
We had the same thing. Before I worked in this industry, we had our house, we had somebody come in and had checked the pressure, and it was up there about 100, and we kept blowing lines. I mean, we had all kinds of problems. We had leaks, we've had floods, with tons of, just nonstop issues. Once that thing got fixed, I thought, they came in, they said, oh, you got to adjust this thing, it's going to run you this. And I thought, why is that going to make a difference? Well, we did, and I have not had a problem since.
Yeah.
It was constant.
People don't think of that as something that can, really just affect them in a negative way. But water pressure is like blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure and you don't control it, you're going to have some problems. Same thing with water pressure.
Very cool. Well, let's jump in. We talked about this a few times, but I want to go over just a recap of our VIP club.
Yep.
Let's talk to people. So we have our VIP Preventative Maintenance Club. That is a membership that you get involved with us for $25 to $35 a month.
Yep.
Brings you between 2 to 3 visits a year. One is heating, one's cooling. If you have the gold package, it's going to include your water heater.
Yeah.
So water heater flush. What exactly do they do on the water heater?
Super important, man. I can tell you this. Water heaters nowadays, I think almost anybody and everybody knows this. They're not made the way they used to be. They don't last the way they used to. If you Google right now, sitting in your seat, if you pick up your phone and Google how long is the average lifespan of a tank style water heater, it will tell you properly maintained 8 to 12 years. Mm-hmm. Well, we're seeing water heaters sometimes fail at 7, 8, 9 years. Why is that? Unfortunately, people aren't doing the maintenance. We have severely hard water here in Southern California, and that water wants to attack. And inside the tank style water heater, there's a device called the anode rod, which is the safety device for the water heater. It's a softer metal than the metal of the tank. So what happens is, everything goes to the path of least resistance. So they're going to attack that weaker metal before they attack the metal lining of the tank. So that anode rod here in California lasts normally about 2 to 3 years. So after starting at year 2, not only do we flush, so we're going to do a water heater flush, which means we're going to flush out sediment and all that. And a lot of that sediment that we're flushing out is actually the anode rod. As it dies, it is kind of molting off and falls to the bottom of the tank. So that's what's coming out.
Some
of it. There's some natural sediment that's in water, but a lot of it is that anode rod. So we flush it out, we clean it out, we clean out the blower, we make sure that we got good airflow going back in so we can have good combustion. It's a huge, because listen, one of the number one causes of water damage in the house are failed water heaters. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right? Here in Redlands, unfortunately, Loma Linda, Yucaipa, we have a lot of older homes. Older homes, unfortunately, they did something that we kind of deem now as very unsafe, which is they put the water heater in the middle of the home. Mm-hmm. They're in a hallway in the middle of the home. So if that thing lets loose,
you're flooding the whole house, right?
It's bad. And so just that's part of it. That is part of the gold membership. Again, going back to our previous topic about pressure regulators, that is also something that's going to be checked on that annual maintenance to make sure that we're keeping you guys in that safe zone. What we're really trying to do there is look for those ways that as your partner in your home, we can keep you safe and whole, right? We want to keep you safe and whole.
One of the things I think is cool, which I don't think a lot of other companies do, at least not that I know of, is if you're a member, our customers get direct access to us through a VIP line.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's their own phone number. And priority is an important thing, especially when it's hot and you got a problem and you need somebody there. You guys get pushed to the front of the line, right? That's kind of what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. So, wintertime, not as big of an issue, but I'll tell you this. Summertime, I don't care what HVAC company you're with, you're booked, and you're usually booked about 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
That's when this becomes a massive, massive advantage for our gold members. That phone rings, our girls know that it's a gold member on the phone. So 2 things happen there. 24-hour service for our gold members, right? They're guaranteed service within 24 hours. So what does that mean? That does mean that somebody who's not a member is going to get bumped for that member. That's what they're paying for. That's and they deserve that. Our gold members, or our silver members, they have 48-hour guaranteed service. So we're going to be out there within 48 hours. So both of them would move up that line during that summer.
Awesome. To join that, simple. All you got to do is call, say you want to become a VIP member, and we will take care of the rest for you, right?
Yep, absolutely easy.
Very cool. So
and probably some of the best $25 or $35 you can spend a month.
Yeah, I mean, think about what you spend that on. That's nothing compared for what you get out of it.
$1 a day to protect your home. I mean, it's
And a one-time maintenance is $195. So you're right there. You're getting 3 visits versus one. I mean, you're saving money also.
I think if people just would remember this, because this, when I first got in the industry, I started thinking about this. I was like, man, that just makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
We're told as youth, hey, every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, change that oil. Got to check that air filter. We're honed in on that. And I think America does a decent job of that. Mm-hmm. But nobody ever tells us about home maintenance. And your HVAC system also has a motor. Actually, it has 3 motors. It has 3 motors and a compressor. So those motors need to be checked. Those motors need to make sure that everything's working together, because just like a car, they all work in concert with one another. And just like in your car, if something's going wrong, it'll make the whole car. Same thing here.
Sure. So let's talk about community outreach. A lot of things that we do. I know
that is you, my
companies
friend.
come out and do. You see them at events. See our competitors out there. But thankfully, we have an owner, Tyler, who is it's very high on his list to be involved in our community, right? Not only from charity things that we do, but a lot. I'm at events as the marketing guy almost every weekend.
Right.
I mean, event season's starting right now. So we just did last weekend. We did the Walk with Animals out in Riverside.
Yep.
And you'd think, cool, well, you're a plumbing company. What are you going to do? Set up your booth and just give me a free whatever it might be. This last event, we did a photo booth for people to come in and take photos. It was rad. And then we got pictures of everybody doing all their photo poses. We're going to put it into a marketing campaign, and we're going to run this whole thing. And so I want people to know when they come to these events and see us, come check us out. Come talk to us.
Yeah,
we
sure.
We have different things happening. We have a kids zone in almost every booth that we do.
Yeah,
it's just outside of the box.
And and there's no silly question, right? And if Mike or somebody at the desk can't help you, they're going to direct you to somebody.
Correct.
Yeah, you do a great job with those.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
You do a great job.
Well, it's fun. I love going out there. The best part of my job is talking to these people, to our customers and the people that come through the booth and the kids, and getting to set up things where people get to enjoy it and not just see a plumbing company setting it easy.
For me, honestly, it's this, man. When I'm there and these clients come and they're talking about our individual techs, and you can tell that they actually have a relationship with our tech. Oh man, we've been using Mario, or man, we've been using Josh for years, or hey, oh my goodness, Noah was in our house and he's just.
We get that a lot too.
Yeah, and that's
a lot of name requests.
That's a beautiful thing that tells you the quality of the individual that we're putting out in the film. Yeah,
it's different, I think, than a lot. I think I think the community outreach and starting with it there is so important to kind of create a relationship with our people,
Yeah, I mean, look, we're going into somebody's inner sanctum, their home. Yep. I hate people that I don't know being in my home.
Yeah.
I love my own home being open to my friends and family, right? I love that. But when you have somebody in your home, it's uncomfortable. And we definitely try to find the right people on our team that will make our homeowners feel comfortable and safe in their home.
I think that being out there at these things is like a lot of customers will use us that meet us there, because I think what happens is they meet us and they talk to us. They have a face to the company, and it's not just a phone call to start with, right? So they go, oh, I remember these people. They were friendly. Maybe not everybody likes it, but we try to be very friendly and cool with everybody.
I've always liked it.
Well, thanks, man. We do our best, but whether it's me or Lisa or whoever, I always take the attitude of we want to put on a face to make sure these people feel like I know them now. Right. So when I call, I'm going to remember that interaction. I'm going to remember talking to these people and had a good experience with them, and they were friendly and they offered me this or whatever that might be. And I think that's kind of what the core important piece of that, community involvement with these events is.
And one of the things that we train on daily in our tech meetings is making sure our homeowners understand their home. Like I said before, unfortunately, you buy a car and TV kind of educates you on maintenance and all that, but you buy a home and nobody really tells you all this crazy amount of maintenance that you really need to be doing, or at least know about, or find somebody to do. And we really want to become that partner. Right. Whether you choose to do whatever we're saying or not, that's not really even what matters. What matters is, hey, I know what I need to do in my home. Yeah. And I know how to protect myself moving forward. And that's just the fundamental piece that we want.
Well, coming up this weekend, we're going to be at the Ucaipa Music and Arts Fest.
There you go.
And anybody who comes by the booth, talk to us. We're going to be giving away 25 Kids Zone tickets that we're going to be giving away. So if anybody hears this thing and comes to the event, I want everybody to come up and let us know. We're going to be giving those away. So
I know, Michael, hey, listen, these guys are great at the booth. They do a great job. Ucaipa puts on some great events. If you haven't tried the events in Ucaipa, go try it out, man. They do a really good job up there.
Yep, very cool. Let's chat real quick about our GREAT program, man, where we're at with that, what's going on, and let's recap what that is. So in case somebody
GREAT is the acronym that we use as our company value statement. It stands for growth. It stands for respect. It stands for excellence, accountability, and thankfulness. Yep. And so when we're making decisions,
it's like a test when you get
there. Yeah, it really is.
You got to remember that.
But look, I'll tell you this, Mike. We were interviewing somebody this morning, and we're literally going through that as we're interviewing. Does this person have a mindset of growth? Mm-hmm. Does this person, do they respect their teammates, the equipment, the homeowners? We're asking questions that are going to key us into those things. Do they hold themselves accountable? Are they looking to be excellent, or are they just okay with being mediocre? And if so, then they're probably not somebody for our team. Are they thankful? And by thankfulness, it's not like we're asking someone to be like, oh my God, I'm thankful for my job. But we want them to have a thankfulness for the opportunity to have a good career, right? And
that shows that they care about what they have or what's going on and what opportunities they have, right?
So we use that in promotion write-ups. We use that in when we're interviewing. We use it when we're making decisions about maybe things that we want to do for our clients. Like if we're going to grow as a company, what ways do we want to grow? Yeah. It's not always financial, right? Maybe we're going to buy some new equipment that's going to allow us to serve our customers better. Mm-hmm. Most companies, when they're thinking of growth, they're thinking of, we're going to financially grow. And that's always a piece, but that's what I love about working for this company and Tyler specifically, is that he's not just looking for the money side of it. He wants to grow our ability to serve our clients. Yeah. What does that look like? Right?
I think all those other things come if you start with a baseline of that's what your core is, right?
For sure.
When you're going in an interview and that's the first things you're looking at, that translates into good service, more business, more,
Right. And it's kind of like I tell our guys, every call that we go on to is an interview. Mm-hmm. We're interviewing for our ability to come back to that next time that customer has a problem. And we have to earn that right to come back. And we definitely don't take that for granted. We know there's 1,000 numbers in the phone book that our customers could call. Sure. We want to earn that right to come back that next time.
Definitely. Very cool. Let's talk about our CSRs. Let's talk about that department. What makes ours special? We got a growing department.
Those girls, we shout out to Frida. We hired a new person.
We did.
Over the last couple of weeks.
She's the first line of defense when they call in now, right?
Welcome Frida to the team. She's killing it, doing a great job. Yeah. She just has a great personality and definitely very patient on the phone. And, those are qualities that you would want, right? I mean, I couldn't be on the phone all day, every day. I'd want to shoot myself. But I just can't sit in the seat that long. ADHD kicks in, but they do. Yeah,
what? Really? I don't see you coming upstairs all the time.
But they do a great job. So that department's growing. Liz has moved into her spot as the operations supervisor.
Lisa's been brought up now too, right?
Lisa's the dispatcher. So we have a great team in there. The cool thing about all those girls is that, that great analogy really lives itself out with those girls, that they are definitely trying to grow as a team. They're definitely, I love the accountability that they're holding themselves to. And they're just, I know without a doubt that they respect our clientele and they respect the workplace. And when you have somebody that does both sides, that's just an amazing fit. So.
Yeah. What do you think makes, when you're hiring, what do you think makes a good CSR? If someone has to be, they're obviously the forward facing, who talks to every customer that comes through these doors, figuratively. But what do you think is important there? What's the difference?
One of the things I'm looking for is somebody who's compassionate and patient. Those two things, they have to have compassion for our clients. Here's the reason I say patience with that is because there's a caveat to that. A lot of times when our clients are calling in, it's a very bad moment.
Sure.
And so sometimes they're not in the best headspace. They're frustrated. They're upset. They're mad. They're, and it's not with us. It's because they have a disaster going on in their home, right? And they had a meeting at work today, and now they're having to miss that meeting. And so, we understand that. But not everybody has that ability to understand that, or just care enough that person is going through something, right? So it's to be compassionate and be patient, knowing that they are going through a situation. Right? They're not taking it personally. They understand that nobody woke up today and said, hey, I really can't wait to have a problem and have to call Redlands Plumbing, Heating, and Air. That moment never happened. So this person is calling us out of a desperate need for help. And how can we best serve them? And when we're interviewing, we're asking questions around that to make sure that they have that personality that's going to fit that.
Sure.
Myself, probably not. My wife, probably not the right people for that.
That wouldn't be the job for me either. Honestly, I listen to some of these calls to track them through our Google tracking, and some of the people that are frustrated because of a situation. Obviously, everybody would be. Our girls have just the most, they're the calmest, gentle people that I listen to, and they never get fired up, and it's such an important part because it always helps. I listen to those calls, and you realize it starts ramping down, and it calms down people, and they make them feel like, we're here, we're going to help you, and don't worry, I
don't do a ton of training with the girls. I have in the past and a little bit lately, but whenever we're talking in there, my goal for them is to know that when they get off that phone, the customer should feel taken care of. Yeah. I don't need to continue to make calls.
Yeah, no more questions.
I found my partner.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, and can we do that every single time? There's never a silver bullet for every 100%. Yeah. But what we can do is that's the attempt that we should make every single time, is that when they hang up that phone, the problem might not have been solved yet, but they feel at peace that they found the right partner. Let's
talk about a department that doesn't get, probably a lot of our normal customers don't even realize that we do, which is plumbing new construction. So commercial type of things and all that. Justin's department, it's hard to figure out a way to portray that or to show it, to let everybody know that that's the kind of thing we do, because that's not just the average customer that's going to call you for something like that, right? But let's talk about our plumbing new construction division, what that looks like, what we do. Well, it's a little bit of a rundown.
Yeah, I would start off with their leader, man. Their leader, Justin, is great. Just an amazing dude, right? Young guy, but just a wisdom and strength way beyond his years. Sure. He just really does, and I congratulate him. It's just amazing. I've been here 7 years now, and to watch him grow and flourish into what he's become is just amazing, and it's a really cool thing to watch.
He's got some big goals, and he's accomplishing. It seems like we're on a track to do that.
He does, and we're building stuff all over Southern California right now, right? And so obviously we do the underground and the top out plumbing for new buildings being built. I know we did some over there in that off of 5th Street where the new stuff's coming in. Where the Costco was. I know we got some projects going on Morongo, I believe. And
for customers that, let's say one of our customers is opening a new business, we do TIs for things like that, right?
For sure.
Tenant improvement projects. So if you never know who's going to hear this, but if you're opening a business and you need somebody who you can trust to come in and do the plumbing for this thing or handle your AC, that is something you can call us.
Yeah, we're doing one of those downtown right now at the new coffee shop down on State Street.
That's right.
So we're doing one right now. And so, just definitely. And listen, if there's anybody out there in the new construction plumbing industry and are looking for a company to partner with, I'm telling you, it's a great team that is just growing leaps and bounds on a yearly basis, and definitely has some great leadership in it.
Definitely. Okay, cool. So let's talk about, we have a lot of, it's hard to keep up sometimes. We have a lot of promotions that happen, right? So number one, first way to check that is go to our website. We have a discount or part on that site where you can get coupons for all kinds of services that we do. But in particular, I just kind of want to go over a list and run through something of what we have running. That's some of the promotions. We are, well, the first one we're getting ready to launch, so I'm not going to say that one yet, but Hop into Comfort campaign for Easter, we ran a $95 AC tune-up special. That's actually been a hot one, dude. A lot of people
that's huge, man. I mean, well, they're saving $100.
It's pretty cool. It saves them 195 is the normal, right?
So it's $100 savings right there.
Yep. So that is one. Our VIP exclusive. So if you are a VIP member, what I do is every quarter I send out a specific discount or promotion that says, because you're a member, we're going to give you this discount on that. So quarter 2 was $150 off a reverse osmosis system. And then we also have our, $150 off of our electronic air cleaners available right now, and that's to maintenance club members. That was one of the deals.
I mean, listen, if you're having problems with your HVAC system, if somebody in your home is having asthma, that has asthma, allergies, the summer can be rough for them because that air conditioner is just blowing that stuff around in the house all day, every day. This is where that electronic air filter, we call it the Air Ranger, that's where this comes into play. It's an amazing device. It's something that I have to use at my house for my wife, and it works just tremendously. So that $150 is a great savings.
That one's a limited time promotion too, so if you guys are listening, call it. You get time to get that done right now.
We'd love to help you out.
Yep. Also, we talked about that automatic water shutoff valve. People can get $125 off of that, and I think that one's available on our website too. So if you go on there, you can get a coupon. Just mention it to the CSRs. And if you have any other questions on them, go to that page on our website. That kind of explains all the things that we have on there. So, but yeah, I just thought we'd run through and kind of. Is there anything I'm not thinking of?
I think the biggest thing to think of, guys, is it's about that time for summer, man, where we had like 2 hot days, and then
that's weird.
It was kind of scary. We got hot there, 90 degrees for it, right? Yeah. It's coming, guys, and there's nothing more important than getting your system maintained. I would love to say with us, but I'll say it this way: even if it isn't with us, it is super important to get your system ready for that summer. Remember that HVAC system that will be working throughout the summer has 3 motors and a compressor in there, and they need to be maintained. They need to be taken care of, man, just
maintenance
get
so
that done. Find a partner. I mean, yes, I would love it to be us, and I'd love the opportunity to serve you. But even if you don't find us, find a good home service partner, man, because so many things could be avoided if people just had the right partner in their home.
Agreed.
And when you have that partner out there, hopefully, if you get the right partner, not only will they be showing you the symptoms, leaks are symptoms. I know that feels like the big problem, that it's a leak. Something caused that leak to happen. So the leak is a symptom. There's actually a physical problem that caused that. Let's figure that out together. So not only do we spend the money to fix this leak, but we can actually fix it and prevent it from happening again.
Yeah, when they find the right partner, it's a very important. While it may be a burden or whatever that might seem like to a customer, it is very important to let one of the technicians really dig in and figure out where that's coming from, right?
Well, I like to look at it like this. So many people worry about their portfolio, right? Man, so they might change 5 or 6 financial providers before they finally find a guy that they feel has got their best interest in mind, that understands how they like to play in their portfolio. But your portfolio usually, and I'm going to say usually, not for everybody, usually is not your biggest investment. Your home's your bigger investment. But nobody has a partner in their home, and so why would you not partner with somebody who's going to look out for your best interest in your home, and have that partner that's looking out for your portfolio? So I definitely look at our job a little bit differently. We are there to help our clients protect their home.
Absolutely. Well, let's tease the next episode. Next one, it should be on 17th. It's going to be Tyler. We're going to be going over that automatic water shutoff valve, and the reason why we're doing that, I know we just talked about it, but he is just installed. He's our owner of our company, and he's installed one of these systems on his home. So he wanted to sit with it and use it and actually have it, and he got the experience of putting it in. So we're going to talk through all that, and we're going to figure out like how that looks and what he thinks the value is in that thing, and kind of go from there. So should be a cool show, man. I'm excited about it. Get the big boss man.
He does not like to do this.
No, he doesn't. So. That's why I think he's putting it off. I'm not really sure, but we're going to see. Tyler, listen to this. You're on point for the next one, bud.
It will be bearded glory in here.
All right, well, it's time to sign off. Everybody stay comfy, stay cool, and catch you next time on the Red Truck. Hit that record button.
This one right here, right?
Redlands Street.